Zombie apocalypse.
Good morning, BSET second-year students. We're currently taking ELS 22, which is the Electronics Workshop Practice 1. By the way, this is your course facilitator. This is Sir Kenji E. Merenciano. Maybe some of you are wondering why Sir Kenji decided to record this video. And later on, this will be uploaded to my YouTube account and share this to our group chat. Class, we will not be having a synchronous meeting today. Instead, I will provide you a video material about the course orientation. So, this time, I'll be presenting the course syllabus, its learning contents, mode of assessment, what do you call this, grading system, and your requirements. As we all know, the course syllabus is presented during the start or the opening of classes or during the orientation. Okay? So, without further ado, I will now present the course syllabus. Okay, class. Before we proceed with the presentation of our syllabus, let me show our my schedule for this SEM. And one of the courses that I will be handling is Electronics Workshop Practice 1. And based on our faculty center, we are scheduled every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 to 12 p.m. Okay? So I'm going to show the list of enrolled students for this course. So class, based on my records, I have here 19 BSET second-year students who are officially enrolled for ELS 22, which is the Electronics Workshop Practice 1. And these are Miss Abinion, Mr. Agarao, Mr. Albucar, Miss Asejo. We also have Astillero, Miss Asopardo, Mr. Balatay. Another is Mr. Brosola, Buela, Gallardo, Lastrella, Lucinerio, Magallano, Monporte, Mr. Navarro, Pina, Tancuan, Vicente, and Bugs. Class, please let me know if your lists or names are not included but you are enrolled for this course. You can message me through my Facebook account or to our group chat or through my email. Okay, so again, I have here 19 students who are officially enrolled for ELS 22 course. So this time, I am going to present our course syllabus for this first SEM. Okay, I have to zoom in so that you can see well the content of our syllabus. So the title is ELS 22. That is the course code. It is the Electronics Workshop Practice 1. So it is offered during first SEM. And based on our class schedule, it is divided into two as a type of course. We have lecture and laboratory. So for lecture, it is scheduled every TTH also 8 to 9 a.m. And I think the faculty in charge, aside from me, is Sir Adrian Osma. I'm in charge for 2A-1. That's why our schedule is every TTH also 9 to 12 noon. And for 2A-2, TTH also 9 to 12. The credit unit for this course is 3, and the prerequisites are you need to pass the fundamentals of electronics, or the ELS 13, and the other one is basic troubleshooting techniques, which is ELS 14. The faculty in charge for emphasis, I for one, I am Sir or Professor Kenji E. Merenciano. Kenji is spelled as Kengie, not J. Okay. The other one is Professor Adrian A. Osma. So let us now proceed to the course description. We know, by the way, a syllabus is being presented during the opening of class or at the beginning, or perhaps during the orientation. Your syllabus is your baseline or reference about the topics, about the learning contents, the mode of assessment, the grading system, and what will be your expectations, and even the faculty in charge. What is her or expectations after you finish this course? So, what is ELS 22 or the Electronics Workshop Practice 1? So, based from the description, it pertains to familiarizing with electronic components. We all know components play an essential role for electric circuits, projects, and other forms of devices. And electronic components, way back when you were in first year, you've learned that there are two types of components. We have the active and the passive. Now, let's get to know more or be familiar with these electronic components. RLC, these are resistors. L is for inductor and C is for capacitors. And this class are classified as passive components. And we will also get to know more about active devices. This pertains to semiconductors or IC or integrated circuits. Another one is we will be acquainted or be familiar with the different electronic workshop tools and their uses. So, since this course is more on laboratory, we will be using tools and we'll be identifying tools and their uses for laboratory purposes. So this course has laboratory or practical or hands-on application. So we will study how to solder correctly, how to solder components or use for building your electronic devices or project. Wave soldering, computer aided, and aside from that, we will get to know more how to use this PCB. PCB stands for printed circuit board. Just like in arts, PCB is like a canvas. Wherein in canvas, it is an avenue for you to be creative, to create your own artworks. But here, you will connect, install, or mount a variety of electronic components, and after that, you need to open. You need to function or to make your device or project works. And aside from that, we will do PCB fabrication. At the end of this course, your output is you're going to assemble or build your own practical circuits. Okay, so this is the course description of Electronics Workshop Practice 1. So class, let us now proceed to course learning outcomes. So we have here four different learning outcomes that the students are expected to learn after he or she finish this course. The first one is to demonstrate a deep and principled understanding on the nature of these passive components, the resistors, inductors, and capacitor circuits, and active devices together with its application to electronic devices. Once you've learned what are RLC components and get to know about the semiconductor and active devices, you're going to practice what you've learned by building different or selected electronic projects for this course. Okay? So the second one class is to manifest technical competence on proper soldering and the soldering techniques of selected electronic systems. Third is you're going to design and analyze equivalent circuits using printed circuit board. Okay. And the fourth one is to develop projects. So once you've learned what is a printed circuit board, what's its purpose, how to mount components or install components through soldering and desoldering, and identifying the passive and active components, its function or use. You're going to develop projects, electronics projects to be specific, that may be useful in the field of electronics technology. So these are the four main course learning outcomes that you need to develop once you've learned or once we discuss the learning contents for this syllabus. So since I'm mentioning learning content, let us now proceed to the course outline, which contains, aside from the learning content, we have the specific learning outcomes, instructional delivery, the resources, performance standard, assessment tasks or outputs, and the time allotted or allotment. Okay? So for the learning contents, what we're doing now is we are having our course introduction or a course orientation, wherein I am presenting the course syllabus as your reference. Aside from that, we will touch or discuss about the Bicol University and BUSIT BMGO and quality policy. What is the vision of Bicol University, and how is in our college, which is BUSIT, and how do we live the ideals, and how we integrate it as a BU or BUSIT student. Another topic is after the quality policy, course orientation, grade expectation, grading systems as part of the syllabus. We will discuss about these RLC components, the resistors, capacitors, and inductors. So we need to explain. You need to explain the characteristics of each passive components and its functionality in an actual circuit layout. Based on what you've learned, you're going to apply the basic knowledge and computational skills in identifying the correct value of resistor, capacitor, and inductor in a circuit layout. You're going to design a project for a circuit layout using these passive components. And for our instructional delivery, I'm going to inform you, I have to inform you that starting this SEM, our mode of instructional delivery is blended. For the past 2 years, we are adopting or using the flexible learning. It's a setup wherein the mode of instruction, the mode of communication, exchange of submission of the requirements, performing learning activities, taking assessments is through online. Most of our activities are conducted using online mode of instruction. So when you say online, it's a combination of a synchronous or asynchronous. Last, when we say synchronous, it's a type of modality or setup wherein the teacher or the faculty in charge provide instruction But in a distance learning setup, wherein most of us are facing our screens, our mobile devices to listen to the talk or instruction of a faculty or a course facilitator. But this time, I okay. So that is synchronous. For asynchronous is it's a learning at your own pace or at your own time. Meaning to say, the faculty in charge or the course facilitator uploads learning material, gives instruction about the activities or an assessment that students should need to perform or to submit their outputs in a given period or time. Okay? So that is the type of flexible learning. More of synchronous and asynchronous. This time, we're going to apply the blended learning modality, wherein there will be days or times you have to visit our classroom to conduct face-to-face or in-person classes. Last week, we had a meeting with my colleagues or with the department about the classroom schedule to when our students will go to school to have their laboratory assessments and other learning activities. So we agreed that from first year to fourth year, you will go to your respective rooms, to your laboratory rooms, to have your in-person or face-to-face class every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So that will be MTF. Okay. The remaining 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, is intended for flexible learning, either in a form of what do you call this? Synchronous or asynchronous setup. Again, let me reiterate. Our mode of instructional delivery is through blended learning. There is no full implementation of face-to-face or in-person class, but there will be limited. So you will going to have your in-person or face-to-face class every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Okay? So let us proceed to another topic. Another topic is all about the semiconductor of active component. So here, we're going to study, dig deeper, or have a deeper understanding about, since most of the components were introduced way back when you were in first year. This time, we're going to apply what you've learned or get to know more about these components. As I've said, in the semiconductor and active components, we're going to study the operations, function, and application of semiconductors, proper circuit layout testing, and measurement. Another is going to apply the basic knowledge in computational skills in identifying the correct value of active or semiconductor, and you're going to design a circuit using these active components. So class, to anticipate, you're going to build a different electronics project with the use of active and passive components. Next, another interesting topic is how to solder and desolder properly, or the soldering and desoldering techniques. So the objective or the learning outcomes is to demonstrate proper soldering techniques and use effectively these tools needed, considering the temperature controlled soldering, the right solder. These are the parts of soldering iron: dump sponge, small sharp wire cutters, and small tip needle nose pliers. And we will proceed to the midterm examination. Based on our school calendar, the schedule of your midterm exam is on, I think it is in October, let me see, October 13, 2022, and the modality of submission, pen and paper. So before, During the flexible learning, we conduct assessments, let's say midterm and finals, through online by using a Google form. So we agreed uh, with the department that most of our assessments are done during the face-to-face or in-person classes. So that is, again, our schedule of midterm exam is on October 13, 2022. So after the midterm, we will now proceed to another topic, which is all about the PCB or the printed circuit board. So here we're going to study the different types of PCB and its appropriate usage or applications. Design layouts for a PCB, a fabrication, PCB making negative of the artwork. And these are the two methods, using the negative picture or using the photoresist method, or as far as I know, last time we adopted the old method of etching in PCB. Okay, so another is we're going to tackle about the different chassis or electronics enclosure. So aside from building different circuits or project using active and passive components for circuit protection and to be able to make your project static. When you say static, it's the design. We need to use or uh, provide an enclosure. Okay. So after the enclosure or layout assembly, the last part or the last topic for this syllabus is you're going to test your project, the functionality of your circuits, or what did you say, electronics project. Okay. So and after that, here's your final examination based on our school calendar. It is scheduled on December 15. So these are the topics. Again, for emphasis, the learning contents for ELS 22 are the following. First, the resistors, capacitors, or inductors, or the RLC. Second, the semiconductor and active components. The third one is all about soldering and the soldering techniques. So we will proceed to the midterm. After the midterm, another topic is about the PCB or the printed circuit board, how to make or build enclosure or layout assembly. And the last one is we're going to test the functionality of your project. So that's the coverage of your learning contents or the topics to be discussed and to be applied later on in ALS 22 or the Electronics Workshop Practice 1. Okay? So let us now proceed to the course assessment. This type of course is divided or a combination of a lecture and laboratory. With regards to the lecture, presentation of the lessons, introductory to the different learning contents, Sir Adrian Osma will be in charge for that. Okay? Actually, Sir is teaching ELS 22 with a combination of lecture and laboratory. While you as my students, we will touch more on laboratory. So my requirements for you, by the way, let's proceed again to lecture. The lecture has three criteria. So we have the requirements, which is 40%, quizzes 25%, for midterm and finals, or these are the term examinations, 35%. So all in all, we have 100%. For ALS 22 2A-1 laboratory, these are my criteria. So we have one, we're going to submit a technical report. A technical report is a document about the features or how you were able to construct your electronics project. Second, you're going to conduct laboratory experiments until you completely build the project and it is working. So third one are the projects. So for laboratory experiments, we have 50% And for the projects, we have 40%. All in all, it's 100%. So the computation for final grade, we have 1/3 or almost 30% that will serve as your midterm grade, and 2/3 or 70% that is your tentative grade. So for your references, these are the books or references you may that you may consider and to further understand or study about circuits, about chassis, about soldering and desoldering techniques, and then how to assemble your project. Okay? So class, since we are now using the blended learning type of modality, I'm going to be strict with the attendance. Okay? According to CHED policy, total number of absences by the student should not be more than 20%. And I think we are bounded or guided with our student handbook with regards to the policy of students who are who have this habitual absenteeism or tardiness can be sanctioned if you are tardy or not are not or do not participate in our class session or meeting. Okay, so I think this is the this sums up the contents of or syllabus orientation for our syllabus orientation. So class, if you have questions or clarifications about the course syllabus, feel free to message or contact me. So class, that is the content of our syllabus. Hope it is clear to everyone what are the learning contents or the topics to be covered, what are the course learning outcomes or your expectations for after you finish this course, and the mode of assessments. It also includes the mode of assessments, the grading systems, and the policy that the faculty in charge is asking for you, my dear students. So if you have questions or clarifications about the course, about the syllabus, feel free to message me, and these are my contact details. So class, again, thank you for listening. Thanks for your time for watching this video. And as what I always say, keep safe always.
Zombie apocalypse.